Welcome to The Resilient Realtor, where we gain insight, inspiration, and understanding of what makes a great real estate agent. Interviewing agents of change. And now, the host of The Resilient Realtor, an award-winning veteran real estate agent and community leader, Kim Hayden.
All right, welcome back to The Resilient Realtor. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, and I'm on a quest. I'm on a quest to find those agents of change, those agents that inspire, those agents who are willing to step out of their way and onto their path of leadership. And I'm super excited to find, most of you won't know this, but I did spend 1 year of my high school living in Boise, Idaho. So I went on a quest to find my inspiration in Idaho. And I found an amazing woman, Michelle. Her energy came through on the phone call. I talked to her. Why, for God's sakes, are you doing real estate? So, This is hashtag Realtor Life. And those of you out there that are listening to this that are in the biz, you know that this is a piece that is not just a 9 to 5. This is a lifestyle and you have to embrace it fully. So welcome to the show, Michelle. I am so excited you're here. I'd love for you to just start out, lay the groundwork for us. Tell us who you are, how long you have been in real estate, and what brought you to the movement forward of spreading the gospel, basically, of real estate?
Well, thank you, Kim. I appreciate the opportunity. My name is Michelle Bailey. As you mentioned, I am from Boise, Idaho, actually originally from the Bay Area of California. I moved here in 2005 and I became a realtor. So I've been a realtor actually for 14 years. And a broker for 11. And I started with forward coaching a little over a year ago.
And what brought you to the coaching? Why? Because now coaching is almost like you got to be like, it literally has to come from in here, deep inside, and bubble out. And then you got to herd the cats up and get everybody excited and moving in the same direction. Why coaching? I mean, being a broker is that next level of herding cats, but coaching, whole nother level.
That it is. I love, so I've been leading a team for several years and I volunteer heavily in our association. And so I love educating. I love helping other agents and realtors. I love being a resource for them. And so it was just kind of the natural step that when we started the forward coaching, that I would follow in that step.
Where do you see the gaps within what our agents are receiving and what you want to be of service?
The gaps. I think that probably one of the biggest gaps I see is people are looking for something. They're looking for connection. They want a plan. And a lot of the time people just ask a lot of questions, right? Instead of actually helping people with a plan. And people are also afraid to have the conversation and be upfront and honest and maybe kind of call people out a little bit, right?
How so? Oh, I'm dying to hear.
Well, I think at the end of the day, we all know what we need to do. We're just sometimes not willing to do it, or we let that drunk monkey talk that happens in our mind get in the way of it. And so sometimes people aren't willing to ask the question of, well, why aren't you doing this? Or what got in the way? Or you do realize not doing this means you're going to be homeless, right? Instead, we kind of skirt around the issue. And
there's something very ironic about a homeless real estate agent. Just saying, folks.
Well, true. That probably wasn't a very good analogy.
No,
but yeah, it makes sense.
But we see it. You're absolutely right. A lot of times the truth is not put out there. So we're going to have 200,000, statistically, 200,000 people will get their license in North America this year alone. And 80% of those people will flush out of the market because nobody is being truthful. Yeah. And be it the person who's getting the license or the people who are selling the courses. right? They're not taking ownership in this is not a job. You're not selling cars. You're not even really selling houses. You are providing a service. You're providing a service that has to be instinctual to the needs of that client and the property. They are the ones selling it, right? They're the ones selling it. We provide the marketing. We provide the insight. We provide the service and the stability. So you're absolutely right. Calling them out is critical on both sides, all the way around. This is a big
Yes.
pet peeve of mine.
I get a lot of people that ask me, I mean, I have two young boys. Well, they're young men now. And one has his real estate license and worked with me for some time. And the other one is starting school next month. And he has a lot of friends that are deciding to get into real estate. And I'm always the person that says, listen, real estate is a great opportunity. You can do anything you want in real estate. You have to do the work, right? You
Absolutely.
have to do the work. So if you're willing to do the work, sky's the limit.
I find that the best things I can do for myself is set my obligations, like those interactions, the things I must do early in the morning. Get
Absolutely.
up, get it done. Do not sleep in. If you are not doing your work at 8 o'clock in the morning, especially for most of us who work from home or our cars, right? I mean, the car is a primary office for most of us. Um, if you're not starting your day with a action, a lot of people roll into inactive, right? They just
Absolutely.
and they those days just slip away and slip away and slip away. How do you shock people into movement? How do you get them when they? Because it's really easy for people to roll back into that pain position. So pain and purpose, and a lot of people come into real estate without a true purpose. Their purpose is to get a paycheck, and the reality is you ain't getting a paycheck, honey. You're getting a commission based on your efforts, but they get that little bit of cash, and all of a sudden they quit doing anything. So how do you keep them moving forward?
Well, first of all, I just want to comment on the purpose, because I think that a lot of people hear, what's your why? What's your purpose, right? And we often think it has to be this thing about solving world peace or world hunger, right? And it literally can be. I mean, I was a single mom when my kids were little and I got in real estate. My why was getting out of bed and feeding my kids, keeping the roof over my head. That's a huge why.
Absolutely. I've been there. I know that. So you have two boys? Tell me real quick, how old are they?
My boys are now 22 and 19.
I have a 22-year-old. He has his real estate license and he's a redhead.
Oh.
So, we have so much in common. I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you when you just answered that phone. And you know what? I believe that your purpose should reflect your state, right? So when you enter, and so Michelle Twitchell is another agent down. She's in Arizona. Same scenario. She entered real estate with two young boys just 36 months ago. And now she's in the top 10% of Arizona. And her purpose was to be able to afford medical insurance because she left a job with medical insurance. Her purpose was to be able to provide for her sons. But now that she is in after 36 months and she's achieving these incredible numbers, her purpose has shifted and grown with her growth, right? So I think that in real estate, we're always moving, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, feeding your boys. And so first of all, you would have started before we had all the docu-signs and things like that. Did you do the TV in the minivan? Be truthful. You can tell me the truth. I've been there.
The TV in the minivan? Yeah, of course I did. I made that mistake once with my kids, though, in the car while showing property. I decided no more after that.
No? Oh, I did. So I've been licensed since 99. And so this is even back before the contracts were digital. Actually, before we even had a cohesive online MLS. Yeah. And I was probably one of the first people to have a TV in my minivan because you sit on the curb at a burger shop waiting for the other real estate agent to show up at 8 o'clock at night after you've negotiated the offer because you got everything in triplicate. To this day, I'm just shocked that social services was never called on me.
The things we do.
You know, but I don't, what are your boys like? Share with me that leading, that modeling, that work ethic. Tell me about your boys and where they're at.
So my 22-year-old, actually, he's taking classes for construction management. And just in being honest, he went through a really rough period. I think kids have it hard, and he went through some depression, and he came to me, he's like, Mom, I don't know what I'm going to do with college. And I said, all right, well, come with me. I was actually getting ready to go to a conference called Win, Make, Give up in Washington that Ben Kinney teaches. And so he went with me. And it's really funny because he heard me talking about, I was stereotyping agents' behaviors, right? And how when you are over analytical, you don't get into action. You think everything has to be perfect before you get into action, right? And so on the plane ride home, he said, Mom, I want to be a realtor. And I was like, okay, you're paying for it. And he goes, no, I'm serious. I know you don't think I'm going to be successful, but I want to be a realtor. And here's why I think I will be successful. Because as soon as I learn those processes, I'm going to implement them, and they're proven, and I'm going to be good at it. And I said, okay, well, kiddo, it's up to you. And he did really well. He got his first listing by, I call warm calling. And he really came from the heart and servicing that client, and actually talked himself out of the listing because he helped him with a budget to figure out how to stay in the home. And so then he decided he didn't like lead generation and went back to college. So that's awesome. However, he's keeping his license active for referrals.
Smart.
And then very, very smart. My 19-year-old just graduated in the midst of COVID. And he wants to do interior design, and he doesn't want to go to college in the middle of all this. So he decided he's going to go get his real estate license, and I'm not really sure what he's going to do for me, but he's the kid that he works for Dutch Bros, which is the coffee shop and drive through. And he's the one that knows everything about everyone that comes through. He remembers names, he remembers stories. And he texts me at least once a week, Mom, so-and-so came through the drive-through. They said they know you. So he's the connector.
He's the connector. And that's huge. That's huge in real estate, getting out of your own way and believing that you have something of value to offer.
Absolutely.
That is the huge point. So when you're, because you said earlier to me that you're not afraid to exercise. So when you're exercising, who are you filling your ears and your head and your heart with? Like, what are you listening to? Who are the people that inspire you?
Who are the people? Well, I mean, I listen to a variety of podcasts, but so my morning starts at 4:30. Let me just back that bus up a little bit. I get up at 4:30 every morning, and this was not easy in the beginning, but I realized for myself, I don't exercise at night. I'm just too exhausted. So I have to get up earlier in order for me to make it to the office, in order to have the energy to accomplish the things I have to accomplish. So 4:30, and then I'm doing some stretching, not stretching, but weightlifting stuff. And when I'm weightlifting, that's when I'm listening to a podcast. Again, Win, Make, Give with Ben Kinney, Entree Leadership, Dave Ramsey, and The One Thing with Jeff Woods. Those are some of my favorites. So again, they're businessy, right? And then
that's great.
I hop on the Peloton, and I don't listen to anything when I'm on the Peloton. It's all about the music and just focusing on working out and sweating my heart out.
Are you a Peloton convert? I know there's actually a whole almost, it's like Volkswagen Bugs, but you have to power it, right? This is like
it's a movement.
It's a movement. I have so many girlfriends, and it's like, ooh, okay. And how much was your bike? Well, I got mine for $39, and you paid $3,900. So what's the difference?
The difference is, okay, I'll tell you, I'm not even
Okay.
a bike person. I'm not a bike person at all. And so my best friend loves Peloton and tried for 2 or 3 years to get me to do it, and I wouldn't. And then COVID happened, and I was like, I can't not work out. So I finally bought one. And it's a community. It's just, I love the competition, but I don't have to compete against you. I compete against myself every single day I get in there. And the idea that one of my friends may know that I didn't work out, or that I don't have a streak going, that's enough to keep me showing up.
That is, you know what? And I have been actually, I have a space for one. I have a space for one. Um, COVID has not been kind to me. I've determined COVID-19 is actually 19 pounds, right?
It is a thing. It is a thing.
No, I think you may be my new buddy here. I may have to figure out what class and when you're at. So, um, let's move into books. What are the top 3 books you think every new agent should read?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. I have a whole thing of top three. And I'm going to tell you, Kim, like I'm not a book reader. I do the same thing. I listen to them. I skim all the books that are on my shelf. Um, I'm more of a podcast person. So when I think about books, right, like the one thing from Gary Keller, which is fresh in my mind, and it's because it really is about the simple things that we take for granted, like time blocking and why we don't just time block, or multitasking. I mean, I would consider myself an amazing multitasker. My background is law enforcement, so I can multitask like no tomorrow, and yet to find out that there really is no such thing as multitasking.
Well, and Gary Keller, I tell every agent I work with, it's the very first book I tell them to buy. I don't care what I personally, this is where I'm at when it stands with brokerages. Brokerages would be broke without great agents. So you, as the agent, are the fuel that makes great brokerages. However, I don't care what brokerage you're at or where you stand on what. The Red Bible of Real Estate is Gary Keller's Millionaire Real Estate Agent. 33 touches and all of like that is that and I'm always shocked. I'll meet somebody who's been in the business for 4 years. They can't break their plateau of 8 deals a year. And it's like the reality is the minimum you should be doing is 12. So why? And I said, I want you to go back to your Red Bible. And they'll look at me and go, what's that? And it's like, that is the very first book you should have read in real estate. And I do. I swear by that book. I actually have
It's a
it right
great
here on my phone.
resource.
It is a great resource and highlighting, and it's kind of like reminds me of what a when you're going through university and you graduate university and you have that one textbook that always seems to have something relevant no matter how much the industry changes.
Yeah.
That's what Gary's book reminds me of. So yes, so any of the listeners out there, please, if you have not read it, and it's right now, just so you know, on Audible, if you have an Audible account, you will have been given some free points, and Gary's book is in there. You can actually download and listen to it. 10 hours, 3 minutes. You got it under. So, okay. So yeah, I don't actually sit down and read books myself. I'm usually doing something, like I love to cook. So when we're looking at new agents, I want you to think about when you first came in and you had all the pressures on you. Single mom, 2 boys, and in the United States, it's all compounded with the medical insurance and all these very scary variables. And I have nothing but huge admiration for people who are successful entrepreneurs in the States because there's no safety net, right? You just got to
Right.
go to it. Um, when we take a look at that, if you look back into your early days or before you even got your license, what would be the advice you would give your younger self?
Quit thinking about every single detail and just get into action. I mean, I know I said that earlier. I'm clearly a thinker, so that's something that I've had to do a lot of work to overcome myself. It's something that I constantly work on because I do get caught up in what if, what if, what if. Well, if I would have thought about what if, I would have never moved to Idaho where I knew 10 people. I mean, who goes from a job in law enforcement where you have like a known paycheck no matter who you piss off to a job in real estate, right? And as a single parent, not know anyone, like that's just not even very smart. Had I actually thought that through, I wouldn't have done it.
Oh,
So
yeah. Better done than none.
quit
That's
thinking
what
about it.
and see, I'm the opposite of you. I'm the type person
Really?
who's running out the front door. I never thought. It's like, I decided I'm just going to do this. And I'm like, build a dreams, build it and they will come.
And I'm the one trying to figure out how to build it for you.
Give us a little insight. What do you do to relax aside from working out inside, to get your energy and stuff? What are some of the things that you thoroughly enjoy, and maybe some of those things that those enjoyments that have come because you stepped off that ledge and you went into real estate and you built your own business and your purpose has changed, your passion has grown. What are a couple of the things that are just pleasures, things that you love and enjoy because of your journey of success?
I absolutely love traveling. And I no longer wait for the love of my life to show up and then travel, which I did for a long time. So I love to just travel and get out there and explore. I love wine. So, I will go on a couple trips a year that are just around wine tasting.
Amazing. Okay, well, next one, I'm going to be on your invite list. Okay, because I'm all down for that. I have a girlfriend that's in Monaco right now with her family, and I'm going, I am so jealous. So
Yes.
I'm on your next trip. Now,
Okay.
you may have to drink because of me towards the end of the trip. And make sure we've got somebody with bail money because I can't guarantee anything.
Uh-oh.
But I can guarantee good times and we'll come out with some crazy ideas.
I would imagine so.
And take over the world. Take over the world. Is there any parting words or anything that you'd like to share that you really is a gut thing? If you were to write it on your mirror, is there anything that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, my gut thing, which I think you are referring to my mantra, my thing. And I'm so horrible with remembering like what it is. So I had to hurry up and Google real quick because I knew part of it. And the thing is I'm known for messing up sayings all the time and the punchline. So it's really good that I looked it up, but really it's she believed she could, so she did.
I love that.
Yeah, it hangs in my bathroom and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Michelle, in the famous words of one of my favorite leaders out there, Brene Brown, I thank you very much. And the people who have taken time to listen to this, to just an intimate conversation of two women that are making things happen. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate your time as well.
And can you, before we go, Michelle, can you share with us how we can find you and any websites, emails, anything along those lines? So, if somebody's out there and they go, this is the woman for me, I need to connect with her. How can they?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am, let's see, my Instagram is Michelle Sells ID Homes. But I'm really more on Facebook, old school, I guess. And that's Michelle Vines Bailey. Or you can also find me at Ben Kinney Team, Boise.
Very cool. Thank you, Michelle. And again, thank you everybody for sharing your time with us today. Just keep growing, keep moving, find the leaders who help you shine. And remember, collaboration is queen in 2021. So again, thank you for joining us here at the Resilient Realtor Podcast. I'm your host, Kim Hayden. And until next time, be good.
Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, be an agent of change.